So let's wait for the English-speaking colleagues.
Oh, Peter, you are my fan, right?
Hello.
George, probably is the right place to make some advertisement of your company here.
I already made.
Ah,
Have you heard
excuse me.
my speech? While I was young, I was. No,
It's
I was told that English
the right
is
the right way to
language.
hold the mic is like.
Okay, okay.
So, how are you doing, guys?
Well, guys, well, we're going to talk about the instruments you are using. So as I understand, you are deep into the crypto world, and of course you have a lot of things you are using like day by day to analyze, to trade, to understand what's going on the market. Basically, first of all, my question is, there are some traditional instruments like Bloomberg or Reuters terminals. Do you really use this kind of things, or probably not at all? Okay, let's start from Jan. Yes, Jan. Okay, Peter.
That's okay. Personally, for me, I would say the mainstream media news has little significance on the way I trade, because for me, basically as a technical trader or as a chartist, we look more on everything is priced into the charts, chart patterns, and this is where we observe entry points and exit points to trade. And of course, wherever mainstream media news, this will be forms. For me, I'm using mainly Bittrex, Polonex. I also use Bill Club, okay, to trade. And for me, I'm trading both directions, the long side and the short side of shorting Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. So there's so many opportunities out there, okay, because most of the time we just think of being in the long direction, but you actually can short, okay, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, even without, CME in the picture, even without CBOE, because there are platforms like BigMax, you can do shorting through futures.
Well, what is your most favorable the charting tool? I mean, like, probably I use TradingView, for example. I mean,
for me personally, yes, TradingView is one of the, I would say, very friendly platform. And of course, if you want more features, you can upgrade, the subscription model. Maybe a bit on the indicators wise. For me, I use a lot, just now in my presentation, by short of time, I use Ichimoku, I use GMMA. I think these are great, I would say, technical indicators as good. All-in-one versatile indicators you can use. Of course, you can confirm your entries, exits with other tools.
so you're most technical trader, right?
Yeah.
GMA, what is it?
Yeah, Guppy multi-moving average.
Ah,
Yes, it's invented by an Australian trader, and
I didn't know, sorry.
yes, yeah. So I use it in conjunction with Ichimoku principles, because when both says green, I think it's a very good high probability trade to enter.
Yeah, I hear your question as well. No, I hear your question, but the others didn't. Okay, the question was how we are trading. So we're not actively trading. I was his question. Sorry. Thank you. Good. Perfect. Thank you very much. Sorry for being late. So we're not actively trading. We're just executing. We're a broker where the fund structures are passive funds, so just replicating the market developments. So we're buying the top 10 cryptos by market cap, and then we do quarterly rebalancing. Really a passive.
Only top 10, right?
So far, only top 10, yes.
What do you use to analyze? I mean, do you use some special tools to analyze these assets, or it's just like the public information, maybe some special resources, special programs, or something like this?
So our index provider has built connections, APIs to the largest exchanges. So they're consolidating the data from there aggregating it, and then they're publishing the index as well as each constituent with a reference price. And yeah, we take the data from there because there are several websites where you have aggregated data, but they are not very transparent where the data is coming from. So that's why we, or the index provider, use their own APIs.
Well, that's for the fund, but you personally, what do you use personally?
Right now I'm really focusing on my business and I'm not that actively trading anymore. But my largest asset is Bitcoin, because I think for 90% of the investors, they go from dollar, yen, euro directly into Bitcoin, and from Bitcoin then in altcoins. So basically I'm holding the largest 10, but there are some special ICOs where I participated, but I only participated in 3. So,
I mean, where do you find the information for these ICOs, or
That's
do
public
you use special
information.
websites, or
no,
which
public
kind of
information. I analyze the team, the idea, the business idea, and then my guess, my personal feeling, if that's doable or not, because right now every ICO wants to be the biggest and wants to change the whole world.
True.
I think you should focus on small steps. That's much more successful than really transforming, building a second internet or whatever. So I'm getting ICO requests or requests that I invest in ICOs like 10, 15 a day, but I'm really not investing in those.
I see. Thank you, Jan. And Philip, okay, you got the microphone. So the same question is to you. So what are tools that you're using, and what do you maybe recommend? And do you using it in which ways?
Yep.
So the same.
Well, actually, I'm probably a little bit different to both of the panelists. As I wanted to throw something else into the mix, is that I don't trade whatsoever. I've actually managed to break the habit of constantly looking at prices, because my background was as a hedge fund trader as a young man and an open outcry trader, and for me, technical analysis just didn't suit me and my personality, because there's no right way to invest and trade in any asset. You just have to develop what suits your personality. For me, short-term trading is. I found other people very, very good at it, but for me, I couldn't do it. The answer for me is is to use fundamental analysis and to understand what positions I need to take for a long-term perspective, and not follow it in terms of day-to-day, and just hope that I get to achieve alpha and outperformance that way. So it's fundamental analysis, understanding what you're getting into, and what you're investing in, understanding that technology, understanding that team, and then hopefully from your portfolio, a couple of those will be multi-baggers, a couple of them will fall by the wayside, but that's my way. In terms of the deal flow, I mean, I look at a number of platforms. Token Market is a good one. Crypto Compare, but there are about 5 or 10 that you can see good deal flow coming, but it involves a lot of work and a lot of research.
Thank you. So definitely we have like the existing classical terminals for information like Bloomberg or Reuters. It's not enough information probably right now in these systems about the crypto. So I think we had probably a huge opportunity. Either some crypto things will be included to these platforms, or some another platform will evolve and emerge as a leader for the people who are trading crypto. Basically, let's see what the guys from Bloomberg and Reuters will do, and obviously, probably maybe there are some platform already exist which could be the next leader. So I would like to ask everybody, or maybe somebody will advise what is the best platform for information, for trading. Probably there are some things which are specific to crypto, like proof type of protocols or something like this, which you cannot find probably in special systems like Bloomberg or Reuters. So what do you think, guys? What platform could be the next leader? I mean, in crypto sphere? Any advice?
I don't know how.
Toro, probably.
I don't know how it's on your side, but we're pushing Bloomberg all the time that they include more and more crypto. So far, they only had Bitcoin. Now, I think they expanded to Ether, Litecoin, and Ripple as well. But that's really hard. So everyone who has Bloomberg, please hit help, and they should include other cryptos, because that's the idea. The more requests they get, the more probably they will include those price sources as well. And for banks and other asset managers, they use the data from Bloomberg. There is a connection between Bloomberg and the risk systems that if they get reliable price sources, they will be the probability will increase that they will set up products as well on cryptos.
Oh, Jan, what do you think? What product you would like to be your fund to be included in? I mean, which terminal, which product, which system? Probably it's Reuters or Bloomberg. Or
So
what else?
So our index from this independent index provider, it's an established index provider. I can't disclose it yet because it's still on an NDA, and we launch it together with the fund in Switzerland. And they will publish it through Telecourse, Bloomberg, Reuters. Not only the index itself, but as well each constituent with a reference price. So probably from there they will get much better quality then.
Okay, thank you, Anatoly. So you are very known trader in Russia. What do you use?
You mean very best?
Well known, I said.
Okay. No, I don't use any specific items. I usually trade on BitMEX, Bittrex, Bitfinex, like everybody. So, and I'd like to say more that you should ask Bloomberg to include the data. They already centralized everything. They are claiming $1,500,000 for the terminal. Why should I pay to it? The cryptocurrency is not about the Bloomberg. It's not about the Reuters. We don't should to wait and ask them, please, can you claim our ETF or what the fuck is going on here? No, we should be like a little bit more decentralized. Not fully like libertarians or
so what tools are you going to include in your product? I mean, are there some?
We're currently making the platform for institutional traders. Some stuff like dark pools, I don't know, low latency trading, some connections to other exchanges, and it's not about the individuals. We're not do for individual trading. So I can talk only about me. As for me as a trader, as a retail trader.
In your perspective, what is the most needed and interesting things to be included in the platform for crypto trading, either for investors or retail traders?
The main thing for retail investors is risk management. You should do some after cover or something like this, because but the market is so volatile, it's so fast. Even if you have the after cover or stops or some anything, they can't stop you for losing money. Many people are coming to Cryptospace and they probably lose money because they buy high, they don't use stops, they don't know about anything.
Somebody
money
wants
management.
to lose money, and there's nothing to stop him, you know.
I mean, there is not about the platform. The platform is not the case solution to the everybody will be happy in the world in one moment. The main thing that people should concentrate their efforts on the knowledge of understanding the Bitcoin, how it works, about P2P transactions, about P2P lending, about how they can invest probably to build a hospital in Cambodia or some other stuff. It's all about future, not about the platform. Platform is for losers, you know. The Satoshi Nakamoto gave us Bitcoin, and we are talking right now about the platform and Bloomberg and Reuters. What the fuck wrong with us? I mean, let's talk about anything that Bitcoin can change in the world. Not about how we can asset management with low risk and low Sharpe ratio and high beta or something like this. I guess it sucks.
Yeah, On one side, I agree with you, but on the other side, of course, now we have some professional guys coming into the market, and well, they're equipped with the right tools, and of course, they have the edge about these right tools. And the thing is, which one? It's about the support of decision-making process.
How do you think that the Wall Street guys, with all their futures, all the stuff, technicals, and like well-paid Nobel winners, if they come to the crypto world, it will be useful for like every one of us? How do you think? Would they make more money to us? No, they probably take our money that we already earned holding the Bitcoin.
That's I'm talking about. The professionals are coming, and I want to ask all of you guys, if you would imagine the right decision support system for your own, what kind of characteristics you would like to be included in that system? I mean, imagine what you need in order to be informed, in order to assess assets well, all these things. Jan, could we start from you?
Yeah, so for me, it's important that we have more stable platforms. And I mean, I agree with you. So Bitcoin was invented to have a decentralized currency, but then you won't have any institutional investors coming in. Whereas those are other regulations. There will be some regulations. Yeah, but institutional investors bring liquidity as well. And for me, those platforms are important, reliable regulations, etc.
Okay, guys, your turn.
Okay, maybe just to touch a bit more on the platforms, probably from the consumer or retail investors' perspective. I think currently we don't need to rely really on Bloomberg. I mean, there's one platform that I use for reference. It's investing.com. And in fact, in the past few months, they actually have a new tab called Crypto, if you realize. I'm not too sure if anyone of you, okay. And it gives very, very good information for beginner traders, novice traders, because they have different ways of analyzing chart patterns. You have candlestick patterns. There's a tab on candlestick patterns. There's probably the top indicators you can use. Okay, and looking at bullish, bearish signals and all that, which are good indicators even without Wall Street coming in. Okay, and this is information useful for, I would say, retail traders. Another thing that if I'm able to build a platform, is about, I would say, information from the cloud. Okay, information for market psychology. And if you realize people in the crypto traders world, most of the information is actually from Twitter, right? There's a lot of influencers all around, okay? And yes, in fact, these are the best sources if you're talking about insider information, not from the Wall Street, but from the crypto influencers on Twitter and from Telegram. This actually gives you insight, I would say, news in a way. Okay, of course, you couple it with your own technical analysis, you couple it with fundamental analysis.
So it probably would be good to include the stream of ideas, the stream of Twitter stream, and Bitcoin talk maybe.
In fact, there's a website now, probably most of y'all will know, Crypto Reach. Someone devised this website, Crypto Reach. Basically, it tracks the top crypto influencers, what they're thinking, what their ideas, and their response towards Wall Street news. Right? Because Wall Street have one kind of thinking, but people in the cryptocurrency world, the investors have a different kind of thinking, the traders have a different mindsets. It depends on what you are. If you're a long-term investor, probably what crypto traders think is not relevant because you're long-term investing, and probably you should go to the fundamental approach. But if you're a trader, for me, myself, I'm a swing trader. I'm holding positions not more than 3 weeks, okay, but I'm not a day trader. Right, so I'm finding a style that suits you. And as retail investors, as retail traders, you need to probably take reference to a source that suits your own individual style, be it investing or trading.
I think one thing is for sure that, of course, we need the social stuff. I mean, in not only charts, not only market data, but also the social stuff, the ideas. So what platforms could we use? It's like I know the platform which is very good. I think it's TradingView. Also, eToro has the social kind of the social stream, so you can see what the other people are doing and all the stuff. So That's, I think, the key, and also the great charting, all you said, with right indicators, ability to access, it's in the cloud probably, so you don't download something, it's kind of old, unusable. So this is the kind of elements we could mix and get the right platform. Peter, do you have something to add, maybe?
Yeah, I just want to probably take a step back
From
just a
the
little
infrastructure
bit.
point of view, maybe.
But it's not just infrastructure is one thing. I think it was already pointed out. I don't think, infrastructure is relevant, but let's face some fundamental truths here. It's a very new market, and I'm looking at the audience, and sometimes it's quite good to have some grey hair and have a bit of experience, because I've been through a few market ups and downs over different asset classes, and I can tell you that I think the notion of trying to make money and trying to trade Bitcoin and other major cryptocurrencies, it's a very hard job, and I've got to say that 90% of you will lose money if until you find a way that suits your psychology. And suits you, and you've got to work hard at it, because there's nothing worse when it comes, and behavioral finance has proved it, that young men in their 20s and 30s will lose money in this game, and it's proven, because there are a number of fundamental features that comes into trading psychology, and one of them is overconfidence. That's number one, and it's something that affects 20 and 30-year-old males quite heavily. So I would urge everyone to look, you could say a Bitcoin price range, if you say, we've got some people commenting that by the end of 2018, Bitcoin could be 80,000 or could be 100,000. Others saying it could be worth zero. But it's up to you, and your work to decide, on an asset-by-asset basis. So where do I think, where do I think this is going to go, and how do I create a strategy that, backs up my fundamental belief. I think we all believe collectively that the long-term gain is that there will be increasing use of blockchain and Bitcoin and Ethereum, etc. And we can do our work and give ourselves a fair idea of where this thing is going over the next 3 to 5 years. Along the way, there will be ups and downs, and it's those ups and downs that worry me when it comes to actually trading, because people will lose money. The majority will. There's, if you believe in the concept as a technical trader, I'm agnostic on smart money. People controlling the market. And there are bigger fools that get sucked in and providing the liquidity for the smart money. I think you've got very views on that as well.
I just want to add, the people are really in this audience like to be the traders, and we should be not about telling about that we'll lose money. We should tell more. I guess about the risk disclosure. They won't lose money. People always losing money. Some go to the bar and buy some drinks, some do drugs, some buy expensive cars, or
that's consumption. That's
or I know some just buying some shit that they didn't want to, probably. And the people always losing money. We earn money to lose money. And it's probably okay. You should just realize it's really hard to I don't know how to say it. It's really hard to be in trading for lots of years. It's not about making money in 1 month or maybe 2 months. You should get 2-3 years to understand, just to have the statistics. And to understand that you're doing okay. It's not about the losing money. It's probably most of for everybody is losing time. You can invest your time in much rather interesting, do some career, or probably just hodl Bitcoin, or do ICO. I don't know, anything. The trading is. It's not the holy grail that make you very rich, and if you probably will make some money, if you make some 6-digit in a month, you will realize that you are not the most happiest person in the world. It's not about the money.
Let's not deep in the psychology. Well, let's back to the instrument and tools you're using. Anatoly, as a crypto trader, what tools you use to store the crypto? Well, do you use some hardware wallets or something like this?
No,
Anything?
I'm just trading. I hold all my crypto on the exchanges, and I
Isn't
know
that risky?
I know.
I mean, we
I know,
heard about BTC and
if you if you probably do cryptocurrency, it's all about the risk, man. You can be more
market risk,
more
it's counterparty
secured
risk.
or maybe less risky. It's 100% pure risk, and you should acknowledge it when you're starting it. I'm currently like watch the chart and the volume, some maybe news, and I don't do any specific like technical analysis or some other stuff. Probably my brain is thinking with the patterns. I probably know where the average moving average are, or probably high low. Some I do use it, but I'm not currently using anything. It's just about like if you look at the chart, it's a money. It's just a money floating. It's inflows and outflows, and you just if you're experienced trader, you just need to understand not to be the last one to get in. And it's all your job. You don't should be the first to buy the low. You can buy like a little bit higher probably, and don't sell the high. You can sell much lower, and you're doing fine. You don't need to be the first one. You just need to be the average.
That's basic trading stuff. My question is for you guys. Do you use some, Peter, do you use some hardware wallet or something like that where you store, or you also store it on the exchanges also only?
Okay, I think for most traders, I would say most hardcore traders or experienced traders, it's not about storing or keeping your cryptocurrency secure, because there's always ways to, the new ways to hack and all that. So just the same, I think if most of my I would say crypto assets that are currently trading is on the exchanges, on the different exchanges. Of course, I diversify my risk, right? And if it's not on the exchanges, I would have converted it to fiat, okay, for my profits to use, because it's not about just storing cryptocurrency. It's about able to realize, the profits, okay, and use it in our everyday living. So that's the beauty of trading a crypto, because you want to make profits, you want to realize the profits, and you want to use it in our everyday living, right? So of course, when I would say you reach a certain target level, you can take out your capital, okay, and whatever that remains on the exchanges is your pure profits. You can let the profit run. You don't need to worry about your capital loss.
Well, so let's ask the people here who's using their hardware wallet. Is it Ledger or Trezor? I'm interesting. I think that's a very important thing. I mean, and I see some people which are really using it. Oh yes, that's interesting. Well, we had the time is coming to an end. Maybe some questions from the audience. Anything? Just we have some time for it.
What's the price of your hardware wallet?
It's not my hardware. I have only two. They're not mine.
It's rather complicated to store your crypto on the hard wallet, because sometimes the market can crash, and if you like to just make a transaction and the mempool is very high, you just can't send your bitcoins to any exchange because you can't sell it.
Yeah, okay, you're a day trader, you're trading fast, but there are many other investors, as I said, family offices, etc. They're just buying for 1 million Bitcoin, and then they store it. The best for them is to just that it stays where it is, and if equity markets, bond markets drops, that they have another asset which stays stable or goes up, as seen. So in the past, you have seen a negative correlation to traditional asset classes. So for them, it's important that they don't have it on the exchange, because if the exchange gets hacked, that their assets are safe.
Yeah, we'll probably do an ICO right now, and our crypto is on the hardware storage. So, but I thought we were talking about the trading.
I mean, once you do the ICO, so you collect some like $5 million. Where do you want to store it? I mean, if you store it on the exchange and this exchange goes bankrupt somewhere like BTC, so what you got? I mean, you have the liabilities. Also, if you're a crypto fund, how are you going to store it? The another thing is, it's just when it's something belongs to you, you just want to store it not for somebody in some other place. So I think that could be reasonable, you know, for some type. I mean, not for maybe for active traders or for people who are just more like long-term approach to store somebody, and like 10% you can bring to the exchange and just do a margin trading or something like this. So kind of this. Okay, let's ask maybe some questions from you guys around there.
Коллеги, скажите, а какую...
Dear colleagues, what is the B plan for the collapse of Bitfinex or any other strong exchange?
If the Bitfinex will crash, like, I don't have any plan about it. Just to be serious, I using nothing special. I use diversification between the exchanges. But if the Bitfinex will crash, if the Tether will crash and it will be like scammed, or some FBI guys go to Hong Kong to their headquarters, all the cryptocurrency will have the problem. If you probably like store your cryptocurrency or hard wallet and the CIA come to Bitfinex, that won't help, bro. That won't help. You probably can open the beer bottle just to with this. Everything will gone. Like I was on Mountain Gox. I was buying the Bitcoin on $35, and when it go up, I tried to claim out my Bitcoins, and they said, "No, bro, you're doing the money laundering. We can't give you the money." I said, "What the fuck? What's happening?" And then it was coming down all the way down, and nothing. The hardware world won't help.
So you didn't learn your lesson, right? From MT Gox.
I mean that the Bitfinex is doing like 60% of all the exchange volume. They do margin trading, they do Tether, and if they're gonna crash, they hit everything.
So you want to be together with everybody on this event, right? So you don't go to stand. You don't like to stand alone.
Yeah, I like the captain of the big ship. I'll go sink with the ship. I should do it. I can't just bye guys. I'll have the hardware wallet or something like this. No, I'm with you guys. Yeah, I'm your bro. Look here.
Здравствуйте. Я хотел...
Good afternoon. I wanted to ask a question. In the social mass media, there are some communities dedicated to such events with dumps and pumps. How do you see the future of these processes? How are they going to influence the cryptocurrencies? And what the tools different exchanges can use in order to regulate such speculative activity?
There are pumps and dumps on every cryptocurrency exchange. And what was the question? How do you regulate pumpers, and how it will affect cryptocurrency exchanges operations? If you can answer it.
Я попробую по-русски повторить.
I will try to repeat in Russian, or do I need to translate it into English? A mic to the speaker. I cannot hear the speaker, unfortunately. It is not possible to interpret the question.
Affect the cryptocurrency exchanges, and are there any plans in place to regulate these, guys who doing pumps and dumps? I mean, this is obvious thing. We saw it with BTCH and like this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think we can all express frustration at what we see as market manipulation that seems to happen. across even the major exchanges. And I think this, I think the exchanges themselves need to get a grip of it, or people, like ourselves, as a regulated stock exchange in Gibraltar, we're actually going to be, applying, regulated rules in this space, because it is a problem, and it's very frustrating, when the market is stacked against, retail investors in this way, and pump and dumps and bad actors. They will always be, around, but we have to raise the barrier, and we have a collective, responsibilities of exchanges to put a stop to this. But I just get the feeling sometimes that exchanges themselves are part of the problem.
Yeah,
and it's not fair.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, it's disgraceful, and but it's part of the market evolution, and over the next year or two, we should all work, together as exchanges to put a stop to it. But it's it's incredible, the sort of price activity and the pump and dumps that you see. It's got to stop, and but just a bit like in the securities market, you will always get these sort of bad apples coming. It's unfortunate, but I don't see it stopping. But we try as much as possible to prevent it.
Okay. So the last question from the audience. Okay.
Thank you. I have the question. So it looks like it's a big problem for the governments and for the fiat. And your think, what is going to happen in the future? So how it will regulate? Because it's actually start the problem in the U.S. Some traders got the problem with the IRS, and they can get the fine for it, for the trading. And actually, it will get the problem through the world. So it's that's the point. So where are we going? Like in which way? So it's gonna be like no privacy, or it will be it's still the privacy, but without regulation. So how we can move our money? Like it's going to be like the like stock market, more like global stock market, or it's will be some part of the like private markets through the world, like it's look like now. Thank you.
I think that will be more decentralized. I mean, we have like top 10 world exchanges, and most of liquidity is the fiat liquidity is on them. But the crypto is a different stuff, so probably we'll have some more isolated things, liquidity pools like this. It's my opinion. So guys, if you can comment on this, would be interesting.
As for me, I think that we don't probably should use the term of cryptocurrency, like in the currency. I don't really believe in cryptocurrency. I much more believer in blockchain and tokenization. And in the early days, we have like some guy who had bread and some guy who had fish, and they did the exchange, but the ratio was not so true, because you can't to manage all the supply of the fish and all the supply of the bread. And nowadays you have the internet, you have the exchanges that will be globally connected, like Uber was connecting the taxi drivers, and you can understand how much bread you have and how much fish you have, and you can do the fair exchange. So the currency, probably everyone is arguing what is Bitcoin, a currency probably, or commodity, or some other stuff. It's not a currency, and the Bitcoin is the blockchain 1.0, and we will go to the tokenization probably, and all the stocks, all the assets, all the commodities, like from traditional finance, will be tokenized, and will be much more tokens than right now. Everything will be tokenized. It's really good.
Regarding the Uber example, I like it, but in fact, that's very centralized. You have the clients on one side, you have the drivers on the other side, but in the middle is Uber. So it's not really decentralized. You have one company, you pay to Uber, Uber pays to the other counterparty. So the example doesn't work.
Yeah, by the way, I'm doing Uber for the exchanges, so it's okay for me.
No, and I would say if this market is further developing, we see traditional exchanges jumping on that train. I mean, for them, it's not a big thing to set up new currency pairs, Bitcoin, dollar, and then there's a fully professional, high scalable matching engines. So that will be, in my opinion, again, very fortunate for the crypto space itself.
Just to answer I'm not sure. I mean, the actual question itself was, I think about regulation and whether the initial tenets of Bitcoin and blockchain about being anonymous, etc. Where is it going? Well, I mean, obviously it depends from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. We've seen what the SEC have done, and the Americans, and I think the challenge for regulators and us all is finding the right balance between regulation and innovation. I think sometimes the SEC get it wrong, Americans get it, which you could see people being driven, especially back in 2014, 15, people being driven away from America, to other parts of the world to find more sympathetic jurisdictions. As to where that goes, who knows? As I do believe the SEC will take a tougher line, and next year there will be more regulation coming. But what we're keen on is, as was pointed out earlier, I think it's all to do about the fundamental technology itself. What we're doing here, is the driver here for decentralization, and the technologies that are going to come and in ways that we can't yet predict. It's going to be fantastic. I think we're all very fortunate to be in this position now, in this part of our technological evolution, to be at really what is the start of the journey. How regulators respond, even including here in Russia, it will be really interesting. Some are considering, some are looking at regulatory sandboxes, some are openly hostile. But that's always going to be a moving market. So yeah.
Maybe I can bring the example from Switzerland or how FINMA, the Swiss regulator, is progressing. So they have a more wait-and-see approach. So if we won't see any more Tezos examples where firms or a couple raise 200 million, then it might be fine if no investors get hurt. But as soon as retail investors lose money, the regulator has to step in, and then it will be rather dramatic. And not really, okay, we leave it go, they can progress further. So they don't want to stop innovation. They wait and see. And their approach is basically Swiss law is technological neutral. So first you had physical share registries in a book where you wrote down all the transactions. Then you had central clearing agencies. And now in the future it's going to be decentralized. So it's still a share. But if you issue a share, a token, an equity-like token on the blockchain, it's still an equity. So you should apply the equity regulations and you stick to the law. Otherwise, the regulator has to step in. That's as well the same with all those crypto funds with small contracts behind who are not regulated somewhere.
Thank you very much for having us. We're done.
We're finishing now. Thank you guys. And thank you all for listening and being here.